India is not a religious state. Obviously, we have to oppose this idea of religion state, becoming controlled by the union. That means to centralize the power, centralize the finance also. It is become a serious crisis also now. All the states, they are depends on the mercy of the union. And now what is going on? In the name of SIR, Election Commission, they are trying to identify the citizens. When the people are citizens, how the people will prove that they are the citizens? It is the very interesting dichotomy in our country now. And all the distinguished speakers who are sitting in the dais and all the audience. Today's topic is very much important. For that reason, this seminar is organized by the organizers. We are passing a very crucial time in our country, a very crucial time. Now, today's topics is for a true federalism in the context of interstate relations and federal structure. First, I just remembering to all the preamble of the Constitution. Preamble of the Constitution is the first sentence. With the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socially secular, democratic republic and to secure all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thoughts, expression, belief, and right to worship, equality of status and of opportunities, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individuals and the unity and integrity of the nation. The spirit and ideas of this Constitution, it is completely confined and it is completely express our goal. Goal means people of India ka goal. Because the Constituent Assembly, for a long debate, because peoples of India means people, not a single identity in Indian society. Peoples mean a groups of people. Groups of people. Their identity is the caste, their identity is the religion, their identity is the ethnicities, their identities is linguistic identities, their identities is tribal identities. There's a whole Indian society, Indian people are groups of people. They are divided and to some extent they are maintain their unity. That is the main conflict, contradiction and unity of our society. For that reason, the states before 1947, in India there are so many princely states, there are provinces, so they come together through the Constitution so that as a whole from the very beginning of our country, itself a federation. Federation of the nationalities. India, if we think that India is a nation, and within the India there are so many sub-nations. Sub-nations means someone is Tamilian, someone on the basis of linguistic nation. After Second World War, all over world, the concept developed the nation state. and concept of the welfare state, both. In India, so many sub-nations. Bengali, Oriya, Tamil, Malayali, Telugu, Sikh itself a nation. In Punjab and Marathis, so many nations. There is a nation, it is a country. India is such a country, it is a federation of the nation. And within the nations also, there are so many groups of people. They are divided by the caste, they are divided by the tribes, ethnicities, so that in our constitution maker, they thought that built up such a type of India that all the groups of people, they come together, their development, their self-governance, their autonomy. It is the basic thing of our constitution. India is a union of states. It is a union of the states. Within India, all the states have equal participation, equal responsibility, because the states create the union. Union not create the states. States create the union. All the states, they have their own responsibility. They have their own self-governance ideas. For that reason, you go to the Article 3 of the Constitution, that is a reorganization of the state. For that reason, in our Parliament also enacted the Reorganization State Act also. Reorganization, the state will be organized on the basis of linguistic nations. For that reason, Jharkhand state come up, new states, Uttarakhand come up, Chhattisgarh come up, because the development, the concept is the development of the sub-nations and identities people, that is tribal peoples, particularly in Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, that states emerge for the development and self-governance of the tribals mainly. And same time in Uttarakhand also, self-governance of the hill peoples. So many states would be reorganized, new states become, there is a name also new states. But very interesting thing, that in our constitution we can reorganize the state, but we cannot. A state can be created at the union territory. It has happened in our country. At the time of abrogations of Article 370 by the Supreme Court, the Jammu and Kashmir state become the 3 union territory. In our constitution provision, there is no provision. A state become the union territories. Till it is pending, they are not getting the status of the state. I am talking that what is the guidelines of our constitution? That is breakup. When states become the union territories, in 3-part union territories, it is the principles of constitution is completely going to gradually distracted. And our Citizenship Act, particularly in Indian Constitution, from Article 5 to Article 11, so many provisions is in citizenship. Nowhere in the world, at least 6 articles to govern the citizenship. And also, Parliament enacted the Citizenship Act. And now what is going on? In the name of SIR, Election Commission, they are trying to identify the citizens. When the people are citizens, how the people will prove that they are the citizens? It is the very interesting dichotomy in our country now. We are facing in the phase of destructions of the principles of the constitutions also. Now, basic today's topics, that is separated power. States and center both are the separated power. They are the division of power. Division of power means that is the executives. One is parliament, every state have a legislature. Executive, center have own executive, states have own executive power. At the same time, judiciary also. Union judiciary is a federal judiciary. It is called the apex judiciary. All the states have their own judicial system. Even the distributions of the finance, distributions of the wealth also, because the revenue collected by the states. Earlier revenue collected by the states. State revenue, they're running the states. Now come up the GST, goods and service tax. By these come up the GST, the states earning, states revenue become very much less. Even the collected revenue through GST, it is not properly distributed to the states for the development of states. Till the states only manage the maximum 40% of their own income. Different revenue, different tax, excise tax, so many taxes. The financial power also becoming controlled by the union. That means the centralize the power, centralize the finance also. It has become a serious crisis also now. All the states, they are depends on the mercy of the union. That cannot be. Because it is the right to the state, they have a self-governance. They have to manage their finance also. In spite of that, center till searching the generated revenue from the state in different way. The question is, Article 356, it is the very important question. My earlier speakers who inaugurated this very important seminar, and also our friend came from the Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, he also mentioned of it. The use and misuse of 356. Now, it is checked now. Because from the very beginning of the constitutional state, the party, they are using the 356. 356, because a democratic government, elected government, in the name of failure of machineries of the states, they dislodge a democratic government. Now it is become almost checked now. But it is checked, but the government is not running their own way. Now the role of the governor of the very important now, because the governor in the states, particularly in India, in different states, there is no party in power, particularly the power in union, the party power in union and central government. They are trying to appoint their own men in the non-union government run the party. Particularly now we are observing in Tamil Nadu, in question of other state also, to some extent Kerala also, and in Bengal also. These governors, mainly, they are completely obstructing the work of the state government in question of assent of the bill. Question assent of the bill, they are sitting, they are not assent the bill, they are not sending the bill to the president also. There is a very serious crisis now. Even in that case, very recently, last 20th November, the Apex Court, a constitution bench, overruled their own court's 2 judges bench ruling. You know very well that 2 judges bench in the month of April, they have decided the governor and president should have assent the bill, whatever it is, or return the bill within the limit of 3 months. But constitutional bench overruled the judgment of the 2 judges bench judges. But this constitutional bench, giving the discretionary power to the governor and also left it to the governor also. When 2 judges, they are giving the direction to the president and governor to assent the bill within the limited time, but constitutional bench overruled this judgment. In this context, you know very well that in Sarkaria Commission report, Sarkaria Commission, it was constituted in the year 1983, headed by Justice R.S. Sarkaria. Sarkaria Commission also, I am coming up the Sarkaria Commission findings, that is, Sarkaria Commission categorically stated that the governor cannot exercise the discretionary power. Governor should have taken a decision within a short period. Even in the Justice Venkatachalaya Commission in the year 2002, that commission also submitted in their report that should be the time bound of the assent the bill by the governor and president. Maybe it is 6 months or whatever it is. In spite of the recommendation of the commission's report, I do not know how the left all the thing to discretionary power to the president and governor to assent the bill enacted by the state government. Question is, by this which the relation between state and center relation, it is a friendly relation, it is a unitary relation. Center should have respect the state also, because the legislation means the peoples of the state, their representative, they have enacted a bill. That should be honored. That should be come into act. So many issues are coming, particularly question of division of power, distributions of finance. Everything is going to centralize. Centralized mean that is a unitary. But in our peoples of India, they are in different state, their awareness, their financial position, their own traditional laws are different. For that reason, in Constitution also there is a schedule, that is the tribal land schedule, tribal areas, governance of tribals people also. At the same time, the nationalities of the Indian states, they should have maintained their self-governance. Finally, I want to say that is entire situation is going in different way. RSS chief very recently in Manipur, he stated the call the oneness. Oneness means one nation, one election. One nation, one election means one country. One country means their agenda. Hindi, Hindu, Hindutva agenda. Means one language. In question of language also. Question of language, it is very much clear that peoples of India, they can redress their grievances in different languages. They can write their letter, they can write their submission, proposal, memorandum in any language. Now question is the one language, Hindi. They tried to demolish the sub-nation's identity. Identity of Oriya, Bengali, Tamil, Malayali, Punjabi, so many identities they are trying to demolish. One nation. For what interest? One nation. India as a one nation. But it is the union of so many sub-nations. Sub-nations should have preserved their culture, their identity, their self-governance. And they tried to demolish the parliamentary democratic system. Parliamentary democratic system, they don't want, they tried to one unitary government, presidential form of government. It is very much danger to the peoples of India now. So that we have to very much careful of it. We have to discuss because our constitution assembly, they adopted the constitution. It is a mutual agreement and consent of the peoples of India. And peoples of India, they believe, their dream, that India would be a nation by which their culture, their language must be preserved. We have to now discuss how we will maintain our Indian polity of all the nations' polity. How to preserve our culture, our diversities, our financial autonomy, our political self-governance autonomy. So many subjects come forward now. If we want to fight against such type of oneness agenda, they are trying to build up this India a Hindu religion state, Hindu state. India is not a religious state. Obviously, we have to oppose this idea of religion state. Because our constitution is a secular constitution to maintain all the status, equal status of all the religions. so that India cannot be a religion state. We have to fight for that. Academically, we have to discuss with the people who are trying to destroy our constitution values, who are trying to revival of Manusmriti. I tell they are trying to revival of Manusmriti, rule of Manu, not rule of constitution, on the basis of secularism, democratic republic. Now I am going to conclude only two things, that is, in the present circumstances, we can remember Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Dr. Ambedkar says, one law therefore safely say that the Indian Federation will not suffer from the fault of rigidity of legalism. Its distinguishing feature is that it is a flexible federation. India is a federation. India not a one nation. India not a one religion. India not a one linguistic nation. And also what Pandit Nehru says, how shall we promote the unity of India and yet preserve rich diversity of our inheritance? Very important. How we will preserve our diversity? How we will preserve our culture? How we will preserve our self-governance, our rich inheritance, cohabitation with all the religions, all the peoples? We believe that first our values is we are the mankind. Religion is the personal matter. Religion is the practice of person only within the four corners of all. Religion cannot be the state authority. So we have started to discuss how to maintain our federal structure of the relation with state and nation, how to maintain our cultural diversity, language, and so many things. That discussion is started in capital of our country. We think that it is our duty to discuss more and to propagate, to preserve our rich inheritance. Thank you.